Hey y'all, so spoilers galore. I know I said that I wasn't going to give any spoilers, but I don't think I can review this movie right now and not give any spoilers because I'm just not that skilled at not giving any spoiler reviews. So, spoiler warning, do not watch this if you haven't seen it yet. All right, so we know where we left off. We left off where Far From Home, where everybody knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Okay, we know that, but like I said, I'm going to give you spoilers. So he has some legal problems, and guess who shows up? Yes, the entire theater. We were all like, "Yeah, Daredevil!" So if you watched this past Wednesday's episode of Hawkeye, you know who was in the end of that episode. So it's like, is this canon now, or are they bringing in the same actors to play the same characters, but they're starting over? So what is it? What is it? We have to know. But moving on. Okay. So no, I'm just gonna tell y'all. Andrew Garfield shows up. And Toby. And we kind of knew Toby was coming, but Andrew was denying it with his last breath. He was like, I ain't in that shit like that. But when he came through the little shiny portal, we're just like, he was just in his Spider-Man outfit, and then he pulled it up. We're all like, yes, Andrew. So this, so that was one of my favorite moments when they came through their portals. My second favorite moment is when all the Spider-Mans see each other for the first time. They all go find Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and they all talk about their moments. Tobey Maguire talks about losing Uncle Ben. Andrew Garfield talks about losing Gwen. And then Tom Holland, Spider-Man, talks about he loses Aunt May. And oh yeah, you know how everybody was always like, where's Uncle Ben? Why is there no Uncle Ben for Tom Holland? Blah, blah, blah. Who's going to say the thing? Well, Aunt May says the thing. She says it. She says, you have great power, and with great power comes great responsibility. And then she dies. Like, you knew, like, as soon as she started saying, I was like, she's good. This is it. This is it for her. No. I was very sad. And then you get all the villains come back. No, I don't remember all their names, because there's a lot of them, and I don't remember their names. But, we got Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, Jamie Foxx's character, and the lizard dude. So they all come back, and Peter number one, who we're going to say Peter number one is Tom Holland, Peter number two is Tobey Maguire, Peter number three is Andrew Garfield. So Peter number one is trying to fix everybody, give everybody this second chance, but then of course Green Goblin with his old schizophrenic thing he does. He's like, first he's normal, he's Norman Osborn, all like, well, Peter, please forgive me. And then he turns into Green Goblin and is all like, and gets everybody else like, except for Doc Ock, because he gets cured first. And he's all like, yes, Peter, I will help you. And I also really loved how Andrew Garfield really leaned into the comedy of everybody saying, like, he's the worst Spider-Man. It's not that I ever thought he was the worst Spider-Man. For me, Toby was my Spider-Man, and I just wasn't ready to give another Spider-Man a chance. But I do appreciate Andrew Garfield as an actor, and he really leans into it, and he's funny. Then my third favorite moment is when, so MJ falls off of the Statue of Liberty, and Peter number one can't get to her. And so to kind of recreates that moment for Peter number three. And so when Peter number one can't get to MJ, he dives for MJ and he's able to catch her. And the look on his face when he caught her, it was so emotional, because he was just like, it was like, I did it. I saved her. It was just like, because when you see it, you're gonna cry too. I mean, it was just so beautiful. And I'm just like, I did not appreciate you, Andrew Garfield. That you deserved better. You definitely deserved better. And the other fun thing they did was when they all decided to go after the bad guys together, they realized that they weren't working as a team, because Peter number two and Peter number three only ever worked with themselves, whereas Peter number one, he worked with the Avengers, and they were all like, the Avengers, who's that? What's that? Because they don't exist in their universe. So they start talking, it's like, okay, we gotta figure this out. And then they start listening to each other, and they're and getting everybody. So, like, yes. Oh, okay. So in the end, because taken from the beginning, where Peter was trying to get only some people, getting the world to forget he was he was Peter Parker, but wanted certain people to remember. So that's where everything started. And now he had to go back to them and be like, we have to make everybody forget that Peter Parker exists, because now everybody who knows who Peter Parker is coming into his universe. And so he sacrifices, MJ, Ned, everybody who knows who he is. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is, but nobody knows who Peter Parker is. And it was this very sad moment, because he was like, oh, I'm going to find you. I'm going to come back for you. And he really believed that. I mean, he did go try and talk to them, but it just wasn't it. And now we're at the point where he's in that crappy apartment, like he is in the other ones. And he's back. I want to say this is his classic Spider-Man costume, maybe, because he is back in the red and blue. Because he doesn't have the nanotech, because, Happy doesn't know who he is, so he didn't get this gift, I guess. Yes. And that's so sad. And then, okay, so there are 2 post-credit scenes. Now, the first post-credit scene is Tom Hardy's Venom, because, at the end of Let There Be Carnage, he blinks into Tom Holland's universe. That's when he does it with everybody else, and then he blinks back out with everybody else. So he doesn't actually meet Spider-Man. But a little piece of Venom is left behind, so I'm thinking maybe we are going to get a Venom for Tom Holland, which makes sense, because nobody really wants to see Tom Hardy fighting with little Tom Holland. I mean, yes, Tom Holland's a grown man, but not compared to Tom Hardy. Come on. And then we get this very, very nice preview for Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. And if you've seen that episode of What If, when you see his little person, when his eyes are all yeah. So hopefully you only watch this once you've seen it, and you can tell me what you thought about it, what you're looking forward to. And yes, I hope we find a way to maybe do some more crossovers, because it's the multiverse. Come on.